to Horror Cult Trash Over, the show that discusses all the masterpieces and trash the pieces of genre cinema. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
Summer Screens continues.
Oh, anyone listening from the UK, it has been a summer screen.
It has.
It's been ridiculously hot.
Yeah. Speaking of ridiculously hot, if we were straight, we would have had a great time with this film.
Would we?
If we were straight teenagers, we'd have had a great time with this film.
Yeah.
In the 90s when you didn't have access to porn. Thanks, guys. Thanks for voting for this.
What was it up against?
Gigantic Piranha or some shit like that. I don't know.
Did you choose this?
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's...
Oh, you chose this.
Yes,
so
but everyone voted for it.
So you put it up for the vote?
Because I'm a completionist. We discussed Piranha 3D. We discussed the original, Piranha 2, the remake from the 90s, and now we're finishing the franchise with Piranha 3DD.
Right.
That's the actual title.
Yes.
From 2012.
3DD?
Yeah.
Was that in reference to?
Oh, well, exactly. Yeah, Piranha 3DD, everyone. That's the episode. That's the joke. That's the episode.
That's it.
Done. Yeah. I mean, it comes to something when you make Piranha 2 to Spawning look like a masterpiece.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's also at least this one's set in summer.
Yes. Yeah, it's his first time. It's summer.
No. The first one, Camp
scares.
Blood, was cold summer, but it's still summer. Yeah, directed by John Gulager, who directed Feast Trilogy, Zombie Night, and Children of the Corn Runaway.
Ooh.
Written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, a duo who wrote Saw 4, 5, 6 and 3D, The Feast Trilogy, The Collector, The Collection, The Neighbour, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and Inhuman. This
film was written by men.
Also written by Joel Soyson, who wrote Ambone and Hilly, The Supernaturals, Trick or Treat from 1986, Lower Level, Blue Tiger, The Prophecy 3 and Prophecy Forsaken, Highlander Endgame, the Dracula 2000 trilogy,
Right.
Mimic 2, Hellraiser Hellworld, Hollow Man 2, and many more.
Wow, prolific.
And
bloody hell.
That's right, guys. This film was not just written by men. This is written by 4 fucking men. 4 men wrote this film. 4 people sat in a room, and this is the best they could come up with. Finally written by Pete Goldfinger, who wrote Sorority Row, Piranha 3D, Jigsaw, and Spiral. So, okay, spotting the good films here. Saw 4, 6, The Collector, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Sorority Row, Piranha 3D, Jigsaw, Spiral. You know, some of the better Saw films there. What the fuck? How did they come up with this shit?
Okay, when you say some of the better Saw films, you do realise that's not the greatest compliment.
Wow. These films have good twists in them. Like, wow, yeah. Wow,
how could they write a bad film? They wrote some of the best Saw sequels.
Yes. With well thought out twists and stuff. Like, there's no thought put into this shit.
No, I suppose the Saw sequels had well thought out twists.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at Blacks. Budget $5 million, and it made $8.5 million worldwide. That's right, folks. This film made a little bit of money. It actually grossed 95% of its box office take overseas, and was particularly popular in Malaysia.
Right.
For some reason.
Okay. I can give you 2 reasons why this film was successful. And they're both on the poster.
Okay, let's talk about the poster, because it really... I mean, it does its job. It shows you what you're going to get, but it's who it shows you you're going to get. There's no character from the film. I'm not even sure if this is a real fucking woman or if it's CGI, but it's just a massive pair of boobs and some fish. It's like, come on.
I mean, it does exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
The poster is a bikini-clad woman with large breasts and some piranha in the background. To quote Barbara Steele. that's what the film is.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't. I'm not here to shame anyone. If you get your jollies off this kind of thing, then okay, so be it. You know, but at least try and make an entertaining film.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a porno, just be a porno. just do a porn horror film, and then we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
You know, and we can sit there awkwardly and be like, "This is porn, fine."
Yeah.
But unless there's like actual porno elements to it, the rest of it's really boring.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, us on this podcast, you know, we're all for empowering women. If you want to get your kit off, get it off. You know, you go, girl.
Absolutely.
But this film is so ridiculously misogynistic. It's unbelievable. Because it takes what the first film did really well, where the first film was a satire, and was clearly mocking films like this. It was mocking films like this. You know, your teen comedies from the 2000s and your creature features. It bashed them together. It laughed at them, and it did a good job of it. This misunderstands that point completely.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think what they were trying to do was the same as the original film. And the original is not a 5-star classic by any means, but it's a good, enjoyable film, and it does touch on the subject of the representation of women and, you know, modern culture and this, that, and the other. You know, go back to our episode if you'd like to hear what we have to say. I feel like this film tries to do that, but doesn't succeed.
I don't know. Do you think it's the intention?
I think so. But because it doesn't succeed, because it's so poorly written, it comes across as what it's trying to satire and what the original tried to satire. So it feels exploitative, it feels seedy, it feels stupid.
Yeah.
You know, and that in turn is quite insulting to women.
It is. And it's not even like there's any empowering women in the film. I mean, Biggest Queen was a fucking push this week. Because even our lead, spoiler alert, is a bit of a fucking moron.
Yeah, she's very dull.
Yeah.
She's got that final girl spirit about her a little bit, but so poorly written that she's not very interesting. So you're not really interested in her story. I think where the film fails the most is trying to get too much humour from all of this. Do you know what, girls? You know, the women in this film, they got paid. They showed their fantastic bodies, you know, beautiful women showing their bodies. They got their paycheck. I'm not against that.
I dread to think what their paycheck was.
Just, I wish it was in a better film.
Also, Dimension Films. This wasn't Harvey Weinstein, was it?
Dimension, that is Harvey Weinstein, isn't it? Is he?
I really hope he wasn't the producer of this.
I'm assuming not.
I mean, if he is, then I mean, yeah.
Wasn't Dimensions an offshoot of Miramax?
So yeah, so the first film he was producing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they produced this film.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is,
that
retrospectively, it's always gonna, you know, give it a seedy edge to it.
Yeah.
However much he was involved in the film, you know, I feel like a lot of these producers slap their names on things, and so they get a paycheck from it, but don't really have much of an involvement.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It's creepy.
The irony is not lost on us. That
exactly.
He seemingly comes up time and time again as producing these kind of films. You know,
which in the original,
yeah,
it's actually quite amusing looking back at it now, considering they're taking the piss out of people like him.
Exactly.
You know, but with this one, yeah, it means it's so badly handled. Yeah. But also, through my unprofessional Googling of that, apparently Kelly Brook had problems with him on the set of Piranha 3D as well.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Good old Blighty's own
yeah.
Kelly Brook.
Anyways, it's time for...
Hey, I know you. I'm determined to say it slightly differently every time. Congratulations, I have.
So first up, we've got Danielle Panabaker, who plays our final girl, Maddie.
Panabaker is a fantastic surname. I love that surname.
And she was fantastic in the Friday the 13th remake.
She was?
Yeah.
Yes. That's the only place I know her from.
She was also in The Flash. That's what she's most well known for.
Playing...
I'm not sure who she plays, but she's in like all of the main DC
She's
stuff
giving me
on
Supergirl
TV.
vibes. She's Supergirl.
I think she was in Supergirl, yeah.
Oh.
Sky High, Empire Falls, The Ward, The Crazies remake, Yours, Mine and Ours.
She loves a horror remake, doesn't she?
Stuck in the Suburbs and more.
Nice. Stuck in the Suburbs, sounds good.
Matt Bush plays Barry. He was in Adventureland, The Goldbergs, Trouble with the Curve, The Relation Trip.
No, I've heard of the Goldbergs.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Glory Days, Hawaii 5-0, Electric Love, Sharon 123, and more.
Okay, Sharon 123 sounds great, whatever it is.
David Koechner, who plays Chet, has been in everything, including Anchorman 1 and 2, Twin Peaks Season 3, Krampus, Get Smart, Thank You for Smoking, Final Destination 5, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, A Haunted House, The 40-Year-Old Virgin, The Bitch Who Stole Christmas, and...
Was he in The Bitch Who Stole Christmas?
And a lot more. I feel like he's been in everything I've ever watched.
He's one of those faces that you recognise straight away, but you don't necessarily know his name.
Mm-hmm.
And he does play every kind of middle-aged white man stereotype.
Yeah,
you know, grumpy father, sleazy guy. Well, they're probably the only two I can think of.
Cop in Twin Peaks.
Cop.
Christopher Lloyd, icon, legend. He is the moment. Plays Carl Goodman. Unfortunately,
is he the moment?
Not
because
anymore.
It seems like he
Not
takes
anymore.
a lot of these shitty film roles.
Yeah, he was the moment a while ago. He returns as Carl Goodman, and he was in Back to the Future trilogy, of course.
Was he?
Yeah, most famous for Piranha 3D, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Clue, Addams Family Values, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and again, lots more.
Yes. Yeah. Very prolific.
Straight to TV Christmas films.
I was thinking, you know, there's a time where you can tell he just said yes to every role that came up. You know, props to him. Well, no, not really. I mean, you need to leave some kind of
this
legacy.
was insulting, this film for him. His dialogue's fucking abysmal.
This is a low point.
Ving Rhames returns as Deputy Fallon. He was, of course, in Pulp Fiction, the Mission Impossible series, Jacob's Ladder, The People Under the Stairs, Dawn and Day of the Dead remakes, Stop or My Mum Will Shoot, Striptease, Con Air.
He was in Stop or My Mum Will Shoot.
Yeah. Piranha 3D, of course, and more.
Yeah, I really like Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
He's one of those actors where he doesn't necessarily been in films that I love, but I'm kind of drawn to him as an actor. He just seems like a real nice guy.
Yeah.
I hope he hasn't been cancelled, and I've been... If he has, then I don't know, but he just seems like a real nice guy.
Finally, for me, unless you have any more, I have David Hasselhoff appearing as himself, who, of course, I mean, everyone knows who David Hasselhoff is, but just in case you wanted a brief summary of his filmography, in the TV shows he was in Baywatch, Knight Rider, Star Crash, Caught with Their Pants Down, Witchcraft, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., previous podcast film, Sharknado 3 and 4, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and lots more.
Is Caught with Their Pants Down that Revenge of the Cheerleaders?
Maybe.
He was also in that random Italian horror film with Linda
Witchcraft.
Blair. Witchcraft, is that the one? That's the one. I used to have it written down, that Italian horror film with Linda Blair.
Do you have any more?
Yes. Jean-Luc Bilodeau. I do apologise for the pronunciation. As Josh. He was in Trick or Treat.
Oh.
And LOL.
Oh, laugh
Miley
loud.
Cyrus. Matt Lintz as Freckled Boy, or Little Ginger Moron, as he's referred to in the film, is Bruno in Miss Marvel, a show we've been enjoying.
Absolutely blew my mind. I cannot believe that's him.
Doesn't look like him.
No.
Well, he's certainly not ginger now.
No. Yeah. Is that it?
That's it for me.
And then it's time for our feature presentation.
It's double the action,
Something's wrong with me.
what did you do to me? Double the terror, and double the D's.
Bring me my legs.
Piranha 3DD.
A year after the massacre on Lake Victoria by piranhas, an eradication campaign has left the lake uninhabitable and the town has been largely abandoned. We know this because we get professionally shot news footage that's taken straight from the wet t-shirt contest section of the previous film. Well, at least this one hasn't got Eli Roth.
That's true.
Surprised he didn't come back for the Dead 4 Rat.
But we do start as we mean to go on. Party time with some TNA.
Shit music.
Some Flow Rider rip-off song. The news broadcaster. I don't know why I found this so funny, but the reporter, she says, if it happened here, it could happen anywhere again. Oh, wait, shit, I fucked that up. Let me start again. If it happened here, could it happen again? And if so, where?
Of course, the where is Cross Lake, where we meet two farmers, one of which is played by Gary Busey, and they're searching the waters.
Yes, not quite Oscar winner Richard Dreyfuss this time.
No, not quite.
For our first
We get
kill.
Gary Busey instead. I think that says it all.
And, I can't remember his name. Oh my god, this totally should have been in the Hey I Know You section. The dad from Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gary Busey, you may know from that argument with Meatloaf on
Dickhead.
whatever it was.
The Apprentice.
The Apprentice.
Arguing over Donald Trump's affection. How times change. Actually, they probably still would. What are these two farmers looking for in the water?
What are they looking for?
A big old heifer.
Yeah.
I don't know why the word heifer, it cracks me up. I know it just means like female cat. It's a female cow that's not given birth.
Maybe.
Or has.
Well, this definitely hasn't given birth.
No, because it's fucking dead in the water.
Yeah. Piranha eggs have been laid inside a dead cow.
The heifer.
And they hatch after the cow farts.
There we go.
By this point, you might as well turn the film off because you've seen everything you need to see now. You've seen some boobs, you've seen piranha, you've seen a fart joke. That's it. It's over.
That's it.
You've seen a cameo. We've had the cameos now. You know.
Yeah.
The cow explodes when one of the farmers opens a lighter near it, and the farmers are killed and eaten. Gary Busey, because he's the more famous of the two, pulls a piranha from his mouth, chews on it, and spits it towards the camera in 3D.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is in 3D.
And it likes to remind you every so often.
Yeah, every so often. Not as much as the first film.
No.
No, every so often.
Which is really just... I mean, for a film of this caliber,
yeah,
it would actually be a good thing
Mhm.
to constantly have things waved at the camera for 3D. It might make things a little more exciting, keep you awake.
Puppets were used as much as possible for the piranha, so that's a good thing.
Were they?
Yeah, there's a lot of puppets used in this, but when they're CGI, they're fucking bad CGI.
Yeah. So you only remember the negatives, don't you?
A Chihuahua dog was used for the growls.
Really?
Piranha.
Oh, bless. So we're back to piranhas, and it's time to get wet again.
It is.
At the big wet water park, which is just off this lake where Gary Busey has just died. Getting wet, being wet, wet, love is all around, is a joke that's used a lot.
It is.
Oh my god. So much. Oh, are you wet? Let's get wet.
I promise you, this film...
Let's get a little wet.
This film is written by 4 grown men, but it genuinely feels like it was written by a 13-year-old boy who's just discovered women. No. Let me rephrase that. This is written by a 13-year-old boy who can't get with any girls and is so angry at them and wants to get back at them, so he's just going to objectify them for an hour and 7 minutes with a really shitty screenplay that he wrote in his mum's basement.
Right.
That's exactly what this is. But yeah, it's written by 4 grown men. Shocking. We get a TV advertisement with David Koechner's character Chet,
Yeah.
where he says it's time to get wet again. Our lifeguards are hot, single, and ready to party with someone like you.
So was that a prerequisite for their employment? Is that on their CV?
It must be, yeah.
You have to be hot, single, and ready to
And
party.
hey, don't forget, Double D's swim free.
Double D
This
swim
is
free.
just as bad as the Eli Roth chant in the first one.
Yeah.
And we get a sign with some prices.
Yes. Would you like to know the prices?
Yes.
Kids, $25, which seems quite steep.
It
Really.
does.
Girls, $10. Hot moms, $10. And adults, $35.
Yes, that's right, people. That's right, listeners. A grown man, one of 4 grown men, wrote "Hot mums only swim for $10."
Wait, the thing is, if it was written better, that could be a funny joke.
Mm.
But it's not.
Yeah, we get loads of. It doesn't
It's kind
have.
of just the same jokes.
Yeah,
repeated.
and it's intertwined with so many wet tit shots. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just fucking.
But it's like I said. I mean, this Chet guy, he is kind of the what's his name?
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell from the first
Yeah.
one. This is the intention. Spoiler alert, he gets a half decent death scene at the end. He gets his punishment for being like this.
Yeah.
But the problem is the film is so kind of boring and badly written that it doesn't come across strongly enough.
No.
So it just feels like they've kind of tried to do it, but all, the TNA is the main part of the film. It's the main selling point. Which it might be, it probably is. Then why have a character like this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
It's just just unfunny jokes.
We're introduced to final girl Maddie, a marine biology student who returns home from the summer because she co-owns the Big Wet, the water park, and she finds that Chet, who is her stepfather, has planned to add an adult-themed section to the water park. Bit of trivia about Danielle Panabaker. Most of the actors and actresses were given scuba training, which was particularly useful for Danielle Panabaker, as she was not a very confident swimmer. She overcame her fear of water whilst making this film.
Very nice. Come on, serving final girl off screen
Yes,
as well.
so at least something useful came from it.
Yeah, so Chet owns 51% of this company.
He does.
Giving Dynasty realness. So what he says goes, because Maddie's only got 49%.
Yeah.
He's replaced the old lifeguards with water-certified strippers.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to make ends meet since his wife died.
Yeah, in a bizarre series of events,
Oh, God.
Chet shows Maddie the adult pool.
Yes.
This is the scariest scene in the film, by the way. The fact that this was allowed to go ahead. With a strip bar, fully nude women, a condoms machine, and I shit you not, the cooch cam. Now, you might be thinking, Gary, what's a cooch cam? A cooch cam is a camera placed in a swimming pool for when women are getting out, so you can see their vaginas on a flat screen TV next to the pool.
Yeah.
That's not the height of misogyny in this film.
But then we get the cooch cam.
And exactly.
They don't just say it.
Yeah.
They show it.
Yeah.
And it just, what I'm thinking, because we maybe sound a little bit hypocritical, because we could sit here and if a John Waters film had a cooch cam, we'd be laughing our asses off.
Yeah.
But there would be more sincerity to the script, and the plot and the film itself.
It would serve a purpose.
Yeah, but it would be for humor. Just it feels like it's in the wrong hands in this film, so it feels exploitative. Do you know what I mean?
It's so
Because
sleazy.
It feels sleazy, and it feels like they're pretending it's for jokes, but kind of not.
It's weird because the soundtrack plays a big part in everything that's wrong with this film. Because throughout a lot of these scenes, even after some of the death scenes, it's really, really weird. You get this generic pop punk soundtrack that feels like it's on a commercial for like a holiday. It's really weird, but it also feels like it's trying to be what was in the American Pie films. but it adds like a light-hearted feel to it. So you're there seeing this cooch cam, and this guy objectifying all this women, but then the music's kind of giving you a bit of a nudge, like, oh, what's he like, him and his cooch cam? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really odd, really, really weird style of filmmaking. It's kind of like they didn't know where to put these songs, and they just put them in at the worst possible times. And obviously we see Maddie's fuming about it, but she does fuck all to stop it. Like, she does a little thing like, okay, yeah, now everyone get out of the pool. No, that's it. I'm not having this. But then seconds later, she's like, nah, actually, no. Do you know what? I'm just going to leave it.
She can't do anything about it. At the end of the day, these women who feature in the film, you know, they have decided to star in these roles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the context of the film and the plot, these women are perfectly fine with nude swimming and having a sexy time in a pool.
Mm.
You know, my issue is the filmmaking.
Yeah.
And the way it comes across.
Yeah.
Because it comes across as exploitative, which for me is bad writing.
Yeah.
Because that, I'm assuming that wasn't the intent. And if it was the intent, then that's just as bad.
Yeah.
All I can think of is the stud on the podcast and the sex pool in that. And this is another issue that we get, is that all the nudity in this film is women.
Yeah.
And there's no male nudity. So again, that's just another reason why it feels exploitative. You know? There is, but it's in stupid circumstances.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know.
It just, again, you know, I hate to bring it back up, but again, the involvement of Harvey Weinstein with this as well just makes the whole cooch cam thing so filthy, so uncomfortable. You know? But yeah, it exists, unfortunately. And I've always found that, because I've seen this film like twice now, and the first time it was so jarring. And that was the one thing I remembered from the film. That and the dick chopping off scene later on. But other than that, that's all I remembered, because I was so shocked that they actually included it. And it just feels out of place. Even in a film as sleazy as this, that's just another level.
Yeah, and to me, like I said, you know, if John Waters did it, it would be dealt with better.
Yeah.
Like, the guy with the cooch cam, you know, obviously the guy's quite sleazy, but John Waters probably would have overdone the sleaziness. Yeah. It would have been, you know, so over the top. The guy would have been, you know, dirty, disgusting. You know,
I think that is an issue. David Koechner's obviously a likable guy in his other films. You know, a lot of the time, or he's so funny that you want to see more of him. So to have him playing a character like this, it feels really weird and not right. You know?
Yeah, I think and I don't want to dwell on this too much, or we'll just keep, you know, going over it. But I think the humour comes from the cooch cam rather than the sleazy guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem, because the humour should be how sleazy is this guy? Yeah. He's disgusting. Can't wait for him to get his comeuppance at the end, because you know he's going to die at some point.
Yeah. But
the humour comes from, oh my god, there's a fanny on the screen. You know, a vagina, you know, on the screen. So that's not really what it should be.
At a party at the water park, Maddie encounters her ex-boyfriend Kyle and friends Barry, Ashley, and Shelby. The soundtrack, it just gets worse in the sequence. And again, it's another one of those moments where she meets her friends for the first time in ages, and she's like, "Oh, can't believe what he's done," and "Oh, what's he like? Oh, I'll leave him. He's just doing what he wants to do." Oh.
Yeah, and it's like clear that throughout the film, Maddie is the only one opposed to any of this.
Oh yeah.
Which comes across not as a perky feminist final girl. She just comes across as a bit of a party pooper. Yeah, she does really. Because everyone else is having a fabulous time. Yeah. Like, you can't do that. Well, no one's objecting to. You know, the people involved aren't objecting to it. You know, the woman, you know, in the pool knows exactly what's going on. You know, so she just comes across as a bit of a party pooper.
Yeah. Poor Ashley and Shelby could have been great characters, but instead they're subject to this horrendous writing. Ashley informs Maddie that Shelby is finally losing her virginity this summer. And she says she's afraid to have sex because her slutty cousin gave birth to a flipper baby. And while she says this, they are both standing there with sparklers in their hands like children.
Yeah. Just to say, the term flipper baby is highly offensive.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
No.
To the context if it being used. It refers to a person with defective limbs as a result of the mother taking thalidomide during pregnancy. Now that was predominantly in the sort of 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
It was sold as a cure for morning sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes no.
Why would they be referencing
makes no
that?
sense. So it's just here's an offensive word to throw in there.
Yeah.
You know, it is offensive. It's not funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid within the context
Yeah.
of what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
And it just adds to the sleaziness on
Yeah.
display.
Maddie is reunited with Kyle, and we get some exposition-heavy dialogue so that we know that he's her ex. And Barry's jealous, so he says to his friends, "I don't see what he has that I don't have." And they say, 6 inches on a barge.
Yeah, so Kyle's a police officer.
Yeah,
He's conventionally handsome.
of course.
The other dude whose name I forgot. What's the name?
Barry.
Barry. Okay.
You think you'd remember a name like Barry?
I'm just going to say it right here, right now. Every guy in this film, and every woman, looks exactly the same. Unless you're Chet, or David Hasselhoff, you all look exactly the same.
It's true.
Barry looks... They've all got the same hair. They're all very clearly toned or mustily.
Not
Barry-
Big Dave. Not Big Dave.
Not Big Dave. Well, no. That's why he's a beast.
That's why he's
and needs to be
there for
laughed at
comedic
because he's
value.
disgusting. He's tramp.
Yes.
He's awful.
Uh-huh.
But Barry is slightly less conventionally attractive.
Very slightly less.
And therefore is the shy potential love interest.
Yes.
Geek who can't get the girl, but will probably get the girl by the end anyway.
Yeah. Shelby and her boyfriend Josh go skinny dipping in the lake, where a bizarre series of events starts and goes on for quite some time. So this is your bizarre series of events warning now. A piranha enters her vagina. Yeah. More of that
Did
to
we
come.
see that?
We saw it swimming towards it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We also, if you look carefully enough, you get a slight view of Josh's penis.
Do you?
Yeah, just like bobbing around in the water. It's quite funny, actually.
Bloody hell. You were looking closely.
You can't miss it. You must have been looking away. Yeah, so we'll get back to that shortly. In 2 days' time, to be precise. Ashley and Travis begin to have sex in their van after asking for forgiveness from God because they're having sex before marriage. Poor Ashley. Do you know what? Ashley had the potential to be one of the best characters in this film, and she really is given the rough end of things. She has to say these awful lines of dialogue. She has to fucking pray, and then she gets killed off screen.
Yeah, that's so annoying. She gets
Like,
killed off screen.
Really, really did her dirty. Yeah. So Travis trips the handbrake, causing the van to roll into the lake. He's handcuffed to the van during foreplay, so he's unable to escape. And he's devoured whilst Ashley goes on the roof and calls for help.
Yeah, really dodgy looking special effects on this one, particularly.
Yeah.
Even compared to the rest of the film, I feel really bad.
Yeah, he punches his stumped arm through the window towards the camera in 3D. Yeah, it looks fucking awful. It's so bad. And this is a practical effect, and it looks terrible.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
With no one around, the van sinks into the lake, and Ashley's eaten off screen by piranhas.
Yeah, very disappointing. Even more disappointing is the conversation Shelby has with her boyfriend, when she says, "Do you think Ashley is prettier than me?" Most guys do. To which is his name Josh.
Yeah.
Josh says, "I've never really been into girls with big breasts," and she's fine with that because she's stupid.
Yeah. Because she's
She's
a
like,
dumb bitch.
oh, okay. That backhanded compliment.
Yeah. The next day,
Yeah, that's it. No, that's it. That's
yeah.
it.
Piranha's
That's
still in her vagina, guys. Don't
yeah,
worry, it's still there.
Still there.
It's just waiting for something. The next day, we get more slow motion shots of boobs.
Yeah, there's a lot of boobs on water slides with a pop punk soundtrack.
Ska punk during this scene.
Ska
Treat to a
punk?
bit of ska punk, change things up. Yeah, the big wet.
It's oddly specific for someone who isn't familiar with it. They would just call it pop punk.
Well, it's ska punk.
Ska punk. I do apologise.
The big wet employee, Big Dave, who we mentioned previously, is a large man. So it's 2012. Of course, he's hilariously hideous. He's fucking the hole where the water comes out in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
And Barry walks past, like, "Oh, what you doing over there, Big Dave?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just fucking the swimming pool hole." He's like, "Oh, Big Dave, what are you like?" And that's really unhygienic and disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, Big Dave, odious, disgusting man. Because he dares to not be athletic.
Yeah. But I feel sorry for the actor.
Or
I mean,
white. Or Caucasian.
imagine taking this role. It's like, okay, you're going to be the joke because you're fat and you look hideous.
Yeah, it says... I keep forgetting this was made in 2012.
2012.
And not 2002.
Do you know what? You're absolutely right, actually. Even by 2012 standards, this hadn't aged well.
Yeah.
Like, I watched this in 2012 and thought, oh shit, this is
Yeah.
a bit iffy.
This is, you know...
This is the 2000s.
This is 14 years
Yeah.
removed from the original American Pie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, in 14 years, have they learned nothing?
Clearly not.
You know, I know... Yeah, it's just... I mean, we're not a million miles away from it now. There's the odd film that comes out and you're like, ooh, you know?
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, just...
We're in a much better place, though.
Yeah, just the fact guy always having to be the joke.
Yeah.
You know, it gets tiring after a while.
And finally, we get Shelby, to complete this pointless montage, we get Shelby vomiting in slow motion because the girl that wasn't Kelly Brook in the original did the same, so we've got to see it again.
I'm assuming this is because she's got Piranha in
Yeah, Piranha's
side,
still there.
yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah, and Big Dave...
Also, the Piranha didn't come out when she vomited.
No.
No.
No, it wouldn't swim all the way up.
I don't know. I mean, it could do many things.
Well, I suppose so. Big Dave, being the disgusting beast that he is, decides to stamp on Shelby's vomit for no apparent reason.
Fun fact, guys, that's the director's feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely.
After Ashley and Travis's fan was found, Maddie consoles Shelby about their friends when they are attacked by a swarm of piranhas. But, oh, by the way, piranha's still in the vagina. Shortly before they're attacked, we get some amazing dialogue from Shelby, to where she says, "Ashley's my best friend. I mean, I know she's kind of a slut, and she's stolen 11 of my ex-boyfriends. And I'm pretty sure she also stole a pair of earrings that my grandmother gave me before she died. But we're like sisters." Okay, fucking hell. What did the actress who plays Ashley do wrong to the writers of this film? So, I mean, the slut shaming her. There's so much slut shaming in this film. Oh my god. And she's a thief of earrings and ex-boyfriends, apparently.
Yeah, the joke's missed on me. So I feel like the idea is that Shelby is a dumb blonde, oh, how original, who forgives friends easily because she's quite ditzy, who, you know, the whole losing her virginity thing and acting like she's innocent because she's dumb, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also,
it's giving me is Karen from Mean Girls,
Yeah.
but just not funny.
yeah. I mean, this is a year after Scream 4 called out the blonde with the big tits stereotype. So you know, once Scream makes a joke, you stop doing it.
But I mean, that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Though, you know, the issue the issue is that this film only has certain types of women who are overly sexual and they're slut shamed for it, women who are dumb, women who are, you know, party poopers.
Yeah.
Well, just Maddie in this one. And then nothing else. There's no nuance to any of the female characters. And that the same goes for the men. But if you're going to spend the whole film objectifying women, at least give us some character. Give us some...
The original, you had the Elizabeth Shue character.
Yeah.
Who broke it up, you know. Her and the character called Kelly, that wasn't Kelly Brook. You know, you had those two to counteract with the stereotypes that were given with the other characters.
But you had the character of Kelly Brook, who was a porn star.
Yeah.
But she came across really well, and she was down to earth, and you know, you shouldn't have to force these things, because we all should know that porn stars aren't horrible people.
Yeah.
But it's a nuance, and it's characterization, and it's making the characters interesting and multifaceted and layered, and you know, this film doesn't do it.
No.
Particularly for its female characters, and that's why it comes across as sleazy. There, I figured it out in my head exactly why I think this film is sleazy. Because the female characters have nothing to them.
Also,
apart from stereotypes.
Yeah. Also, women don't talk like that. Like, this is... The writers of this film clearly don't spend a lot of time around.
But the thing is, it doesn't have to be, you know, this is a film about killer piranhas. It doesn't have to be 100% true to life. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, oh, no one would talk like that, because it's a silly film. It's meant to be a silly film, you know, but it's I don't know, it is stupid rather than silly. I don't like stupid films. I like silly films.
Yeah,
you know, you can get away with a bit more when you're silly.
Yeah.
I know we may be accused of overanalyzing films in the past, but it just helps to understand why we fucking hate this
film. Yeah.
I don't got anything else to say.
They managed to kill a piranha. Also, to great hilarity, Shelby is stuck between two parts of a board, raft, whatever it is, and the piranhas jump up to try and bite her vagina.
Oh god, it goes way too long.
They managed to kill one. Then Maddie, Kyle, and Barry take it to marine expert Carl Goodman from the first film to examine. Christopher Lloyd, Emmy winner, and this is his first dialogue exchange in the film. He says, "Who are you? Why are you here?" So Maddie says, "We saw you on YouTube," and he says, "You and 11,486 other people. I have 700 more hits than the Laughing Diarrhea Baby."
Right.
Emmy winner Christopher Lloyd, everyone.
Yeah, my confusion with this is that they were like, we did some very minor research on YouTube.
Yeah.
He shows them an angry piranha who wants to eat a frog.
Mm-hmm.
Barry grabs the frog.
Oh, Barry's a fucking cunt.
He grabs the frog because he had a pet frog once.
This scene pissed me off so much.
I don't know if this is a way to make us think he's likable. I don't know.
It didn't work.
The Mr. Goodman, or Dr. Goodman. Is Mr. Goodman on IMDb? But surely he's a doctor. Whatever.
Well.
He talks some shit about sulfur dioxide and chlorine and fish becoming confused, which I don't care. Then Barry finally realizes that he knows Mr. Goodman. He said, "Oh, that's right. You wrote The Fish Walk Among Us. I love that book." So I'm like, why would they need YouTube to find out who Mr. Goodman was? And then I thought, Maddie's a marine biologist.
Yeah.
Because she turns around and says, "You read that book?"
Oh, and she is so impressed that he read a book.
I read a book on marine biology. And then I'm like, then bitch, why are you going onto YouTube? How did you not know Mr. Goodman? Surely if you're a if you are a marine biologist, biologist, and seemingly the drive weren't that far.
No, it wasn't that far.
if you're a marine biologist and you've heard about these piranhas going absolute apeshit, you should be really familiar
Yeah.
with all of that. I mean, that's big news in the marine biologist community.
Yeah.
But she still had to go on YouTube to look up who was involved. It was like, oh, Mr. Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
She's already read that book.
Yeah.
But they act like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm overanalyzing again. I
Well,
love it. I like an overanalyze.
He tells them the
Analysis.
piranhas may be moving between lakes and they could evolve to become terrain viable. And he ends the scene referencing the laughing diarrhea baby again.
Yeah, hilarious.
That's Christopher Lloyd, everyone.
That's Christopher Lloyd.
Shelby, and continuing our bizarre series of events, Shelby begs Josh to have sex with her because she thinks there's something wrong with her and she doesn't want to die a virgin. Stereotypical porn music plays in the background while she says, I want you to come inside me. Just come inside me and I'll do anything you say after that.
Yeah.
So, okay, is she possessed by the fucking fish?
Oh, did you miss when we finally see Ashley's body at the bottom of the lake?
No, I'm about to get to that.
Oh.
I'm about to get to that. Yeah, Maddie, Barry, and Kyle return to the lake where they establish that the piranhas cannot make their way into the pipes connecting the lake and the water park, and they discover Ashley's body.
Yeah, the reason why I wanted to point that out, because I found it so funny, that just in case you forgot who Ashley was, the handcuff keys fly towards the screen. Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case you forgot Ashley, because she had 0 fucking screen time and 0 fucking character development. Apart from a couple of sentences about her stealing some earrings after she died.
Yeah.
And then I put that she doesn't want to die a virgin, asks Josh to come inside her. I just put, fucking hell.
Okay, I have something to say about that. Let's just tell everyone what happens first. So whilst Shelby and Josh are having sex,
Yes.
the piranha, still in Shelby's vagina, bites Josh's penis, forcing him to chop it off. Okay. So, there's a lot to say about this. First of all, is she possessed by a piranha? Because, first of all, she's not acting like a normal human being. I know we can forgive it in a stupid film, but she is acting like the piranha is making her tell him to come inside her so it can bite his dick off.
Yeah, So number one, it's giving the impression that she's possessed by the piranha that swam up her vagina. Number two, my issue is if she isn't possessed by the piranha, she says that she wants a shag before she dies, but she doesn't actually die.
No.
She actually survives the film. And there's nothing to suggest that we've got an alien xenomorph situation here and it's going to burst out. You know, that would have been an interesting...
It would have been better.
Post-credit sequence, wouldn't it? It would have been interesting, but whatever. Number three, the piranhas in this film kind of pick and choose when they want to be ferocious.
Yeah.
So the idea is that piranhas are animals, they run on instinct, and they'll just bite and kill anyone. They're ferocious.
Yeah.
Yeah? So the piranhas also have razor-sharp teeth. So surely the piranha, like as in the first film, would have bitten his penis off. Can't believe it.
Like they did with Jerry O'Connell.
With Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
I really hope my mum never listens to this podcast ever. So, for the fish to be on his penis and him have to cut off his own penis, that's not a piranha biting his penis. That's a piranha giving him a blowy.
I did not think it was going in that direction. Jesus Christ. Also,
surely the piranha, if he wanted to eat the knob, he would have, or she, whatever, you know, The piranha would have just eaten the knob.
Also, why did it wait 2 fucking days? Why did we have to wait 2 days for this? Why did that piranha think, do you know what, I'm going to go up here, I'm just going to wait around. Has she not been to the toilet since to flush it out? Like, seriously.
No.
You know, she's not been for a piss. This whole time, this fucking piranha's been up there just waiting, just sitting around. It's like, do you know what? 2 days later,
different holes.
it's like, do you know what? Fuck this. I've been waiting here for 2 days. I want a bit of dick. Let's make this bitch get some dick. And then I'm not even going to bite it off. Like, oh my god. I can't believe I'm overanalyzing this. It's a film called Piranha 3DD. But sometimes, even in the stupidest films, some stupidity is too much. This is too much. This is jarring. Nothing about this sequence of events makes any sense. Is it entertaining? It's probably at a push, probably the most entertaining scene in the film. But fuck me, it is so stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't understand why, if she isn't possessed by a piranha, why is she think there's something wrong with her? And instead of going to a hospital, she wants someone to come inside her.
See, that's what I didn't like. It's that phrase, I want you to come inside me and I'll do whatever you like. Like, where has that come from? Where, you know, what, I can suspend belief and that this piranha's been inside her, you know, for 2 days. Okay, I can suspend belief for that. It's a silly film. It's stupid. It's a throwaway horror film. Yeah, I can suspend belief for that. What I don't like is the reason, no reason given for that dialogue.
No.
Because that dialogue is fucking sleazy.
Yeah.
And it's trashy. And it makes no sense to the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So they've just another case of throwing stuff out there because it sounds funny.
Yeah.
Like the whole flipper baby thing.
Mm.
You know, just throw it out there and they'll laugh. Come inside me. Hilarious. But the connotations of that are quite misogynistic.
Yeah.
You know?
Ladies and gentlemen, written by 4 grown men.
Exactly.
Kyle is revealed to be corrupt, and no, before we get to that, how fucking awful is the scene when she finds Josh? It's so awkward. Like, she just stands there screaming at him, and he's like, what did you do to me? And he doesn't like he's in the same room as her.
Yeah. He blames her, which is understandable, I suppose. But
Was this after Teeth?
She
Was this made after Teeth came out? Because this scene is absolutely ripping off Teeth, or maybe it's a riff on Teeth.
Well, Teeth was kind of based on an urban legend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teeth was 2007.
Yeah. Okay, so after Teeth. But he blames her, which is understandable. But there's very clearly a large piranha on the floor that she sees. And she's already been attacked by a piranha. Because that's the piranha that they took to Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Is the one that she was attacked with and Maddie killed.
Yeah.
So she must understand that the piranha is in some way involved.
Yeah.
When she sees, in between, I'll mention it.
Yeah,
I don't give
Kyle's
a shit.
revealed to be corrupt.
Yeah, he takes some sort of bribe off
Chet. Yeah.
Who cares?
He's pumping water from an underground river into the water park, which will be important coming up.
Yeah, who cares? When Maddie and Barry appear at the hospital, Shelby says, Josh cut off his penis because of something came out of my vagina.
I've got something even better for you, though. You thought that was them in the hospital? No.
Where are they?
First of all, just because we have to mention it, it's important to the plot. Chet orders Carl to keep Maddie from finding out about his plans. Great. Barry is actually with Maddie at her place. They're at their apartment, his or her apartment, one of the two. I assume it's probably his because she's just visited, isn't she? Yeah, they're at one of their apartments. He's having a nice conversation. Oh, you're gonna get back with Kyle, are you? You sneaky cow. And then Shelby turns up at their place, covered in blood, and literally blurts out, "Josh cut off his penis because something came out of my
the
vagina."
hospital.
No, they're in the hospital after.
Oh.
That honestly,
Why wasn't that
even
just at the
worse.
hospital? Oh, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, but when she says because something came out of my vagina,
you know what it is.
it's a piranha.
You know what it is. You've seen it on your kitchen
It's that
floor.
massive fucking piranha on the floor, very similar to the piranha that attacked you earlier in the film.
Yeah.
Like it. Oh, okay. Maddie takes a bath, and dream piranhas drop from the tap for a shit scare.
Yeah. Also, that's the last we see of Shelby and Josh.
That is the that's the last we see. We're assuming they both survived.
They both survived. So
Shelby survived.
yeah, and that dream sequence was clearly just put in there for the trailer.
Yeah, a reference to I'm assuming Nightmare on Street or whatever. Yeah, whatever.
David
Throwaway shit
Hasselhoff
scare.
is introduced.
David Hasselhoff finally appears in the film. I feel like he was a big selling point for the film because this was after SpongeBob.
Yeah, he was in the
He
trailer.
kind of made a little bit of a comeback after
Mm.
SpongeBob. You know, kind of parodied himself, and this continues that on a smaller budget. Yeah, so he's playing himself, and he's preparing a song for the opening of The Big Wet.
Yeah.
There are two women in bed waiting for him to give them a good scene to.
Yes, because even David Hasselhoff is sleazy in this.
Well, it's not necessarily sleazy, to be fair. You know, if they want a threesome, they can have a threesome.
Yeah.
Not here to shame. It's just...
But
I can just imagine the filmmakers going to him and saying, David Hasselhoff, we want you in this film. You know, what can we do to make you look like a real, you know, great guy who gets all the ladies? Let's give you two women in bed. Let's not give him any names.
Well, I mean, they give him this song as well, Love Hunter, where the lyrics are, "I'm a love hunter. Hear what I say. Get on your knees and learn how to pray. Because the love hunter's coming
Right.
to take you away. The love hunter's coming today."
Right.
Written by the director.
Of course. I think that kind of encapsulates everything we've been talking about.
The adult water park opens. More shots of nude women, more shitty generic pop punk songs. According to the director of the first movie, Alexandra Ayer, he had intended for the sequel to take place in Thailand with a much larger piranha attack in the third act of the film during a major festival. I mean, that would have been way better than this shit.
Yeah. That would have been interesting. Kind of. I mean, isn't it all just kind of the same story?
Well, yeah.
Let's be honest. You can move the location, but it's all kind of the same story because we've watched all the Piranha films now. There's all kind of the same shit over and over. You know, and they just give them wings or something, or you know,
Like the second one.
yeah, or spoiler alert, legs.
Yeah.
You know, not really a spoiler, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming they wanted a third film where they could walk.
Among the guests are returning characters Deputy Fallon and former cameraman
Yay.
Andrew Cunningham,
Right.
who was filming all the porn in the first film. Fallon is there in hopes of overcoming his fear of the water after they were attacked a year ago. We get a flashback just in case we forgot who they are.
Yes, yeah. Well, I did forget who the cameraman was. Obviously, Ving Rhames, I remembered, but the cameraman, I didn't remember. I do apologise.
We get Chet introducing the opening of the park, to which he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hot mums of all ages, it's time to get wet." It's the same joke again.
I thought he said, yeah, it is the same joke again. I thought he said hot bods of all ages.
No, hot mums.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, see, this is another joke that keeps coming up in this fucking film. You know, it's Let's Get Wet and hot mums, MILFs, all that. It's literally like a fucking 15-year-old's Pornhub search. It is, isn't it?
It is.
It's like women kissing. Is there women kissing in this? I'm sure there was.
There'll be a throwaway shot of women kissing.
Yeah.
I know there will be. Chet introduces David Hasselhoff. Maddie attempts to shut the
That
water...
was your search history, wasn't it?
Yeah.
David Hasselhoff.
Maddie attempts to shut the water park down, but is stopped by Chet and Kyle. David, a child with ginger 70s style hair, gets bitten in the water and asks for a plaster from David Hasselhoff, who is so shocked that his kid doesn't know who he is and doesn't want an autograph.
Yeah. This. Yeah. David Hasselhoff, I'm not sure how he comes across in this film. He doesn't come across terribly.
He
I
fat
mean,
shames
it is
someone,
kind
surely.
of... Yeah, he does. But it's kind of a parody of himself.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the SpongeBob film. Have you?
No, I haven't.
No, I'm assuming it's the same thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
in all the adverts, he's doing the Baywatch run and shit like that. It's a parody of himself. So it's kind of funny, but kind of not, because David Hasselhoff isn't a good actor.
No.
So it doesn't come across very funny.
No.
Bless him, though. I mean, you know, props to him. He's made a career for himself. I don't know why I think he's gonna listen. I'm trying to defend him.
I don't know, he's probably been cancelled for something, let's face it.
Well, do you know what he should be cancelled for? When he's the ladies are giving him a kiss on the cheek, he turns so that the hottest one's giving him a kiss on the lip.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did.
But obviously in the film, not in real life.
The piranhas make their way to the area and attack, killing many of the water park visitors. One of them attaches itself to Big Dave's ass for comedic value, whilst he's humping the hole in the pool again.
His big fat hairy ass.
Yeah. Also, in the first one, there's some really great death scenes during the big moments like this. I can't even remember a single death scene. I just know a bunch of people got eaten.
Yeah.
And later on I can, but during this part, it's just rubbish.
Yeah, something else that doesn't make any sense is that these ferocious piranha, like in the first film, bloodthirsty, are in the pool, but don't actually really do anything.
No.
That mild ginger kid bite, you know, but they don't actually do anything until after we get the scene where no one believes Maddie and Carl sends her packing because of his deal with Chet. So it's nice of them to hold off so that we can get that stereotypical
nice.
why is no one believing me scene.
Yeah. Fallon attaches a shotgun.
I call this, sorry, I apologise, a tepid rehash of the original as the swimmers are attacked by piranha with terrible CGI.
Yeah.
So if I've written a word that I really like down, I do like to get it out. And tepid, I like that word, tepid.
Fallon attaches a shotgun to his legs. The only thing fake about him is that. And shoots a bunch of piranha.
Was this after Planet Terror?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
He's giving Rose McGowan realness.
David Hasselhoff rescues David, Ginger David.
Yeah, he does.
In slow motion, of course.
Yeah, yes, his Baywatch moment. The we knew it was going to happen, didn't we?
Maddie punches Chet.
David Hasselhoff, also a man after my own heart, when he reprimands the swimmers for flailing around and not leaving the water park. He says, it's not like the fish are going to follow you home, which I have to admit was the funniest part of the film. Because if you've listened to the original versus remake, or when I had a little bit of a rant about why in the film people were taking so long to leave the water, like their piranha, just get the fuck out the water.
Yeah.
And people are like flapping around and like running around, but also on land, like running around, like, oh my god, oh. And like, they're piranha, they're in the water. Just get the fuck out of the water, get in your car, piss off home, and let people deal with it.
Maddie punches Chet and instructs Barry to begin draining the pools while she attempts to save those still in the water. This is a big Yassify moment, you know, Slay Queen, she punches Chet, except she's really dull, so...
Yeah, if I cared more about her, I would have enjoyed that.
And then, well, she shows... she has a bit of dialogue here that makes her even less likeable. Not her fault, you know, writer's fault, but... Barry admits he's loved her since the 7th grade, and she's like, "Ah, I thought you were gay." For comedic value.
Yeah. Because thinking people are gay is funny.
Yeah. Again, how was this not released in the American Pie era?
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I think that is my main problem, is that the humour is at least 10 years old.
Yeah.
When it was made, which makes it 20 years old now. So, and I hadn't seen this film previously. I've only watched it now in 2022. Chet flees after giving money to a kid whose mum died.
Mm-hmm.
He runs over the kid accidentally, which did make me laugh.
That was funny.
A little bit. Because that's old school humour. I mean, it's a joke that's been done so many times.
Yeah.
But it is the second time I laughed out loud, mildly. As his punishment for pretty much causing all of this, he's decapitated by some bunting, and then, because this film was written by 4 men, his head flies through the air and falls into the arms of a topless woman, so he can get motorboated.
Not even the arms. It falls into her boobs. And then she starts shaking him around.
Oh, so it's in between.
It's in between her boobs.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like she accidentally caught it.
No, it falls directly into her boobs.
Yeah, and he gets motorboated.
Yeah. That happens.
Which, handled differently in another film, might have been actually quite funny.
Also, how was he decapitated by ribbon?
I have no idea.
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it happen, but it makes even less sense than the Piranha sex scene.
Yeah, not very logical.
Whilst Maddie is rescuing people, she becomes caught in the suction and is dragged down to the bottom of the pool. Kyle refuses to save her because we need reminding that he's the villain, and because of his fear of piranhas.
And because Barry needs to save the day.
Yeah.
Because we found out earlier that he can't swim.
Yes, he's a lifeguard who can't swim.
He wasn't. He was a cleaner.
Was he the cleaner? Oh,
he always had his litter picking stick.
Yeah. Yeah, despite being unable to swim, he leaps down and brings her to the surface and revives her with a kiss.
Yeah, which I didn't really like the visual of that, because he gives her mouth to mouth, but not really, because her mouth is closed, so it's just a kiss, which is super creepy.
Yeah, mouth to mouth. When you give someone CPR or whatever it is, you blow into their mouth once, then you move away. If I know anything from learning from films over the years, and it's you go back and forth doing it. His mouth does not move. He was enjoying every second of that.
Yeah, no, essentially her mouth should be open for mouth to mouth.
Yeah,
really. So it's meant to be this romantic moment, but it's because it's played out like a romantic moment. You get the close up. You get like, oh my god, this is their first kiss. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's fucking resuscitation, you twats. Creepy. This isn't fucking 1938 with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah.
It's 2012. You should know better, you pricks.
Big Dave pours chlorine into the pipes, followed by a lit joint, and says, "Nobody munches on Big Dave's ass, bitch."
Yeah.
The resultant explosion kills most of the piranhas, and Kyle...
So Big Dave kind of saves the day.
He does save the day, yeah. Kyle is also killed by a falling trident to the eye.
Yeah, so after the explosion, it's Barry's litter-picking stick.
Yeah.
That flies into the air and then comes back down and kills Kyle. And some really cool CGI effects. Mr. Goodman calls to tell them the piranhas are learning to walk. Don't know how he knows that. As the kid David Hasselhoff spoke to earlier, who's also called David, gets decapitated by one of the piranhas after it has crawled onto land.
Yeah.
Credits roll, and we get the David
David Hasselhoff says he calls me a little ginger moron first. It's the last line of dialogue in the film.
Oh, okay.
Also, an hour and 7 minutes into the film.
Yeah.
The end credits go on for 12 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, the credits include David Hasselhoff singing Fish Hunter and outtakes from the film.
Yeah, and people taking pictures of David's corpse on their phones.
Yeah. So it goes on for 11 minutes. So the film itself isn't the fundamental part of the film is an hour and 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So they've sacrificed
Yeah.
character development. They've sacrificed, you know, humor,
Interesting death
and
scenes.
tension, and interest in death scenes. So they must have cut down the ending where all shit hits the fan.
Mm-hmm.
They've sacrificed that for what? Outtakes?
For outtakes. Really cringy, awful outtakes.
Yeah, well, it's just people fucking up their lines, which I always find quite funny. You know, but I mean, could you have not written funny lines? Could you have not made the film funny rather than having to rely at the end on outtakes?
Too much effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Piranha 3DD.
So there's just nothing to it. This is my problem. There's just, and especially being so short, there's nothing to it.
No.
It's so throwaway. The only memorable parts are the really uncomfortable dialogue and, you know, the way women are represented or not represented. You know, there's no really interesting female characters at all in a film that is objectifying women.
Yeah.
You know, there's no interesting male characters either, but the male characters aren't objectified.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to give me the objectification, if you're going to give me a TNA film, that's fine. But to keep my interest, and, you know, I'm a gay guy, you know, we all know it. So the TNA aspect isn't necessarily my thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we come to you as a gay podcast, LGBTQA plus, you know, you're going to have to give me a little more to keep my interest.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something here for the TNA crowd, but just it's not for me. It's the same as the first film, but shitter. It's not funny. It's not really a parody of modern culture or the treatment of women. I think it tried to be, but it failed, which made it what it was trying to parody.
Yeah.
There's a fine line. There's a fine line. It plays into the objectification, and everyone looks the same.
They do.
Everyone. And if they don't look the same, they're made out like Big Dave to be a hideous beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, really just a disgusting character. And it's like, by 2012, it's like, we've seen this.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah, it really is just like a rejected American Pie spin-off with Killer Fish.
Yeah.
Every now
They
and
just tried to do what the first film did, but with very little effort.
then. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit.
And it just, well, was the first film 3D?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Piranha 3D.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's so many fucking Piranha
Hence the
films.
title, Piranha 3 Double
Yeah,
D.
yeah, I get it. Yeah. It's just so many Piranha films. It's hard to keep up.
So let's get to the awards. Our biggest queen. I mean, it's Maddie by default. Wouldn't particularly choose her in any other film, but it's... yeah, there's no one else I can choose.
She's your typical, stereotypical, should I say,
Mm.
final girl, but with absolutely nothing to her. I'm assuming that at least some of the Piranha were female, so I put the Piranha as biggest queens.
Yes, the piranha who was willing to wait up someone's vagina for 2 days to get a bit of dick. That's
Yeah.
queen behaviour. Biggest gasp for me, I've got the cooch cam.
Yes, yeah, for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd and Ving Rhames returning after reading the script. that was quite the gasp for me.
Best worst dialogue. There's no best dialogue in this film. I've got best worst dialogue.
I've got best dialogue.
You have?
Yes.
Okay. What is that?
Well, because of the delivery, titanium motherfucker. Because I just like Ving Rhames. I liked his delivery of it.
Yeah, my best worst dialogue is the flipper conversation.
Yeah.
The flipper baby. And finally, that's camp. Now, this was a fucking stretch, and I mean this was a stretch because this is not even close to camp. This film. I've got Shelby randomly showing up to inform her friends about Josh chopping off his dick because there's something in her vagina.
I just wrote the word nope. That's camp. Nope. No, it's not.
And for our ratings, I give it one little ginger moron out of 10. And that's being generous.
Oh no, I forgot to do this. I give it one decapitated motorboat out of 10.
Is this masterpiece, trash or basic? It is trash with a capital T.
See, I think trash is giving it too much credit. I think it's fucking basic.
It's somewhere between the two.
I think for a film like this, with the premise, and it's, you know, a sleazy horror film with killer piranhas, I think the biggest insult I could give it is to call it basic.
Yeah.
Because it's by the numbers, it's boring, it's far too short.
Mm-hmm.
Basic.
Yeah. And if for some reason you'd like to watch this piece of shit film, it's available on DVD, Blu-ray, and video on demand. And if you, by some chance, enjoyed this film, then I recommend checking out Piranha 3D. But again, like I said with Creepshow, the assumption is you've already seen Piranha 3D.
Yes.
If you have already seen it, then I recommend Piranha 2 The Spawning, because it's shit, but it's a trash to piece. It's entertaining.
Yeah, I completely agree, because I can't think of any other film like
American
this.
Pie.
Well, yeah. No,
The
not even
spin-offs.
American Pie. An American Pie Naked Mile.
The Book
or
of
whatever
Love.
the fuck they're called. That shit. What's the one that came out recently that people hate?
Girls something. Girls Rules or something.
Yeah,
like
or
that. Yeah.
Is it Girls on Top or something?
Girls School. I don't know. Some shit.
Yeah, but I would say Piranha 2, The Spawning. It's trashy, but it's camp.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah.
If you're a fan of any of these Piranha films, I know a few of you are, let us know on social media. We're Horror Cult Trash over on Facebook and Instagram, and Horror Cult Trash on Twitter. I'm Dead at Gaz92 on Letterboxd, Gazmo205 on Instagram, and GazCruise92 on Twitter.
I'm Chris Barker 823 on Instagram and Letterboxd.
And if you're feeling generous, if you enjoyed us ranting about flipper babies and piranhas with vaginas and shit, then give us a rating on Spotify, rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, like and follow on everything else. And if you want our faces on a pillow or a dog bowl, then buy our merch on redbubble.com. Just type in Horror Cult Trash over. Next week, summer continues with Ticks, which we hope is better than this week's film, followed by more sleazy fish in Humanoids from the Deep, where we'll be taking part in an original versus remake threesome. 3 films with that premise.
Yeah.
I like the first one. I'll go on record and say that. There's a lot wrong with it, but it's certainly entertaining.
Right.
We'll get to that next week.
Yes.
Anything else to say? You got anything to say to the makers of Piranha 3DD or the people who voted for it?
Yeah, I just like to say that I'm really disappointed. Although what was the other film?
Mega Piranha.
Mega Piranha.
Starring 80s pop sensation Tiffany.
That may have been even worse. So who knows?
Yes.
Yeah, just disappointment.
That's Piranha franchise out. That is us done.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
We will be back same time, same place next week.
Bye.